Well, first of all, welcome, you guys. This is part one of a three-part series about classroom management with the use of brag tags. My name is Angie Olson, and I am the teacher blogger behind Lucky Little Learners. You are here for one of three reasons. Either you are curious about brag tags, you're here for the free brag tags, which that's okay too. And then, or the third reason, which is a lot of you, is you haven't found a classroom management system that you have fallen in love with and that your kids respond well to, but yet is a positive one, that you don't go home at the end of the day frustrated or feeling defeated. So if that is you or the other two are you, welcome. I'm glad you are here. Here's what we're going to cover in day one of our 3-day series. We're going to cover what are brag tags. We're going to cover why they work, and then a basic how to get started, and then it'll go into tomorrow's. It'll end nicely into tomorrow's training. So you can now see my screen and you can see me. We're going to get started with classroom management with brag tags. So a little bit of background about myself and where my classroom management background is. Back in 2005, I got my first job teaching kindergarten, and the school that I worked at had adopted the Lester Bauer card flip system. So basically, that system, they get a set of cards. They start every day on green, and if they make bad choices or poor decisions, they have to flip a card to the next color. It would go green, yellow, blue, and as the colors went on, the consequences got tougher. Then in 2009, we kind of pulled in some more love and logic with the Lester Bauer, some natural consequences. I will say with love and logic, I love it for parenting, not so much in the classroom, but to each their own. In 2011, I adopted the clip chart system. Basically, they start on green, which is good, and they can work their way up or down depending on their decisions. A year later, I went over to Class Dojo, and it took about a month or two, and I realized that brag tags were something I wanted to pull in with Class Dojo, and I actually was able to pull in both systems at the same time, and I'm going to go into more detail about those, but that's actually the most successful system I've found so far. The reason I didn't like the first ones is because it didn't focus at all on those who were showing the good behavior choices, and they didn't motivate others to make the right choice. Basically, it focused on just giving the consequences, and especially like the Lester Bauer system, as soon as they flipped their card, there was no going back. So those kids that had a challenging day, if they were on yellow, they gave up for the day because there was no point in going back and making good choices because they had messed up. And really, it became a very negative thing. So brag tags were definitely my answer, and kind of a blessing that came along to me, like I said, back in 2012. So let's play a little game. Before we jump into the what, why, and how of brag tags, let's play a little game called This Was Me, Is This You? So just ask this to yourself, and if you want to comment, that's fine too. When it comes to behavior, a lot of my focus was on those who weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So think about yourself. Is this possibly you? Is this you? Spending too much money on that treasure box. That was a huge thing for me. I remember going into run into town to go to the dollar store to fill the treasure box before Friday because it was empty and there was no good stuff left. Consuming my weekends, running to Target and having to pick up some things, and to be honest with you, they didn't like them anyways. This was me, is this you? You get frustrated when those treasure box items end up on the floor, and usually they were broken. I will say you'll never see a brag tag on the floor. This was me, is this you? You get tired of focusing on the negative and felt like you aren't doing enough for the positive. And then by the end of the day, you feel irritated and sometimes defeated. And I know with those previous systems, I would go home feeling this way a lot. And I just thought to myself, well, maybe I'm just not meant for teaching. And that definitely wasn't the case. But that was how I felt on some days when I just felt defeated. And basically, you come down to the point where you feel like nothing is working. You've tried them all, and nothing is working. So that is when you know it is time for a change. Okay? So I'm going to flip this back over to me. And, ooh. Oh boy. That was crazy. Can you guys see me? So, So basically, we're going to take a look at what are brag tags right now. I'm going to show you guys some of my favorites because there are definitely some that I have consistently used every single year, and I actually go into the school year printing off a ton of them because I know I'm going to end up using them. So I will preface this with, I will try to remember to tell you what bundles they're all in, but I will say they're all in Brag Tag Bundle 3. Those are the editable ones, but then the non-editable ones are I'll mention where those are. So let's start off with who likes their students to have clean desks, clean lockers, and clean workspaces. I don't know. Is it just me? Because that's one biggie for me. I can't stand a messy room. So I have created these 3 different Brag Tags. Okay, so we've got Clean Work Area, Organization Wizard, and Clean Locker. I love these because what I like to do with these is I will tell my kids, I'll do it 2 different ways. I'll either say randomly, if I come across a super clean desk or work area or locker, I'll give them these tags or give them a tag. Or I will say, okay guys, we're going to clean our desks, they're messy. Here's what I'm going to do. 5 of the cleanest desks are going to get themselves a tag. So a couple different ways to do it. Another one that I find passing out all the time is the 100% one. Now this one can be used for every kind of test, every kind of hard assignment, 100%. And I will say, and I'm going to go into this later, but you can pass out more than one of the same kind of brag tag. So don't restrict yourself to just giving them one and then saying, oh, well, they've got that one. Let's move on to trying to get them to have another one. Don't keep track. Just copy these and they will be happy that they got them. It doesn't matter. The other one that I use all the time, my teacher is proud of me. This one I love because it's very general. So some examples of times that I have used this one. If they jump a level in their reading, my school uses accelerated readers. So if they hop up from taking their star reading test and they increase their reading level abilities, I might give them this one. Sometimes like another teacher will come and say, you know, Mrs. Olson, I can't believe how well Olivia helped so-and-so in the hallway. I'm going to give her my teacher's proud of me brag tag. Another one, like let's just say they pick up someone else's trash and you notice it. Tag, give them a tag. I will say this, and I'll go into this again later, but I do not give them brag tags if they ask for them. Like I said, I'll go into that another time. Another set of brag tags that my kids have loved are the Animal Friends set. These are all come in real photos of animals doing cute things. So this one's just being a friend. So whether they help tie someone's shoes, whether they help them with an assignment they're struggling on, these Animal Friend brag tags come in handy there. The next one is actually one for the hallway. So I don't know about you, but when I bring my kids down the hallway, obviously I want it to be quiet. And I want them to be super well behaved so that we're not distracting other classes. So I've got a few different ones for this one. So I have a boy super strider, a girl super strider, and then I also have a quiet in the hallway tag, okay? Now let me tell you a little trick I do with these. So before we leave the classroom, I call it Mystery Walker. And what they do, I will put maybe 3 of these brag tags in my pocket. And my kids watch me do it, or I'd put them on my clipboard if I'm carrying a clipboard. And I'll say, okay, boys and girls, today I have 3 names that I'm thinking about. And I'm going to watch those 3 kids specifically. I'm not telling you who it is, but we're going to walk down the hallway. And if you are one of the mystery walkers and you show me perfect, we call them line basics, but if you show me perfect hallway walking and I have chosen your name in my head, you will earn yourself a tag. And I tell you what, that will be the quietest line you will ever see. And my class has always been known to have comments by other teachers saying, wow, Mrs. Olson's class, you look so quiet in the hallway. Look at your manners. It's the tags. It's my little secret. Some other ones that I love. This one is like another golden nugget of secrets here. Stellar for the sub. I do have it in boy and girl. Here's what I love about these. So when I know I'm going to be gone, what I do is on top of my lesson plans, I literally will leave a stack of these Stellar for the sub cards. and I explain to the sub, there's a little note that will go right by my sub plans, and I'll say, use these to your benefit. They are like gold. If you have kids that are awesome helpers today, super well behaved, whatever it may be, give them out a tag. Feel free to give out as many as you want, and I cannot believe the number of sub notes. I wonder if I even have, I should collect them. Truly I should, because the number of sub notes that have come back to me from the sub that have said, Mrs. Olson, your class was really well behaved, and I don't know what these cards are, but they worked well. So again, stellar for the sub. I'll just show you a couple more, so I'm not taking up too much of your time, but a couple more of my favorite ones are from my Growth Mindset collection, specifically sticking with hard tasks, and I'm proud of the growth I've made. So these two are a couple of my favorites from the Growth Mindset pack. Really, all of the Growth Mindset ones are really great for all of those growth mindset concepts. I've got for not giving up, trying again. It's okay to make mistakes. I learn from my mistakes. Basically celebrating growth and celebrating the fact that you're not giving up and that you keep trying. So there's a whole set of growth mindset. Let's see, I'll show you this one. This one is for kids that are on task. So one idea, I know in my classroom, before I give them a writing assignment, I know it's going to be a lengthy one where they might struggle a little bit with wanting to come up to my desk, kind of walk around the room, talk to their friends. I will hang a few of these up on the board, and I'll say, all right, boys and girls, here's today's writing assignment. We're going to do a little mini lesson and anchor chart practice and whatever. But when it comes time to write, I'm going to say, I have 3 brag tags on the board, and I'm looking for 3 people that have the best ability to stay on task, to write and give it their best effort, yada, 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 lay out your expectations. And again, it works like gold. It's like magic. These tags, you will see a classroom filled with kids that want to earn these for their writing and being able to be on task. I'm not going to go into, I've got a whole bunch more here. I'm not going to go into all, you guys. I have over 1,000 brag tags. I know I do. I've got so many. But here are just a couple of my favorites. So before we go on a field trip, I'm going to shove a bunch of these in my pocket. This comes from my character traits set. Teacher's helper for just kids that want to help and are just always right there to assist you. Those kids that have a tough time with their anger, I manage big feelings is a good one when they've done their self-control, like ability to walk themselves through that anger. Reward them with that. Those that do the pencil challenge, if you're not familiar with it, just Google it. You'll find it. Here's a pencil champion card. Task or brag tag that they could have. Those kids that are really helpful with technology, especially now that a lot of classrooms are one-to-one, give them the iPad expert if they are helpful with other kids. If you have a partner activity, and sometimes those can get tricky, you can set this up and say, okay, hey guys, I have 5 super partner brag tags today that I'm going to be giving away to the best team. Here's what I'm looking for, and then have them ready to go. Rad Reader, you guys, there's so many. I mean, I'm not going to go, there's so many, and there's something for everything, truly. So that's just like a real quick, my faves. All right, so let's go into the next section of the training as we kind of near the end here. Let's see here. So we talked about what are brag tags. We took a look at those. So now we're going to talk about why do they work, okay? You've heard me say they're like gold, but why? So first of all, they're affordable. Those that still have treasure boxes, you know that it's kind of a money pit. Brag tags are very affordable. Print them off and they last all year long. We're going to talk about ways for the kids to wear them or store them. There's a lot of options there, but they are overall very affordable. They are easy to manage. And the big thing is that kids love them. They focus on the positive. You heard me earlier talking about how all those other ones had so much focus on the negative and like what's going to happen when you make a bad choice. And brag tags focus on the positive. And you'll be surprised how your classroom environment feels different once you get going into using these brag tags. And like I said, most of all, the kids love them. And that is an understatement. They love them more than any treasure box item you'll ever give them. They will love them more than any clip up on the chart. They will love them more than any little plus on the dojo screen to get themselves more points. truly they are like gold. So the other thing is you'll never find a brag tag on the floor. I know I mentioned that earlier, but treasure box items, they end up on the floor. You won't see brag tags on the floor. I promise you that. One question I get are, what about those negative behaviors? What do you do about those? And, you know, what do you have in place? Because brag tags don't take care of those. And I will beg to differ on that. They will decrease. So when I first started using brag tags, you noticed, if you were at the beginning here of this training, you saw that I used them with Class Dojo and brag tags. What I found was I knew I needed something I felt like I needed something for the negative. And whether your district has, whatever system your district has, you can use that. But what I want to remind you of and kind of celebrate the fact is you aren't going to really need it after you get going with brag tags. So what I started with these, I had my Class Dojo, and that was my way of tracking the negatives and really being able to know when to deliver those consequences and so on. What I found was after a couple months of using brag tags, all that the positive reminders and guidance and role models and reinforcement all led to decreased negative behaviors. And all I can really tell you is if you're a doubter, you just have to try it for yourself, because you will see those negative behaviors decrease. And you're going to end the day not so crabby because you've got about your day in a positive way. Your kids are feeling great. They are more positive. The whole environment feels better. So you might be wondering, how do I get started? And I'm not going to go into great detail of it because my training tomorrow is going to tell you more. But how to get started, my main suggestion right now, if you are interested and you're thinking to yourself, yep, Angie, I do want to do these, here's what I encourage you to do. Go grab a notebook, grab a pen, and just start thinking about your classroom. I want you to write down the areas of your day that are tricky, are challenging. For me, I knew that the hallway was one of those things where I just needed a perfect quiet line. I know that for writing, sometimes I've got some kids that are just constantly at my desk. How do I spell this word? How do I spell this word? Is this enough sentences? Am I done yet? I knew that was an area. Raising their hand to talk, another area. So write down your areas. Write down your areas you struggle with. And then what you need to do is you need to go and find a set that matches your needs. Now, do you need all 1,000 brag tags? No, because you're going to get overwhelmed with that. Go find a set that best meets your needs and start there. And once you have that set, you could start printing. If you're a go-getter, start printing, or just come back tomorrow, because I've got more information to share with you that are going to ensure that you can successfully implement these in your classroom. All right, guys, so if you want a head start, which, again, no, you don't need to do this, but I do have several blog posts for you that are going to give you a lot more information and links and ideas and just a ton of information. So here are 6 of them. These are all linked in the pinned post of this broadcast. And so if you click that, it's going to bring you to my website. You scroll down, you're going to see all of these in there. Again, not a requirement. Also, just a reminder, I do have free brag tags for everybody that is here in this broadcast. It is the first link in the pinned comment section of our broadcast, so make sure you check that out.